Hey everybody, I hope you're all doing very well. In this video, I'm going to show you my super simple, compact, and flexible pedalboard setup. So let's go through the pedals one by one from right to left. This is the Dunlop DVP 4 mini volume and expression pedal. I use it as an expression pedal plugged in to the HX Stomp. This is the DoD mini volume. I just use it as a passive volume pedal. This is the Disaster Area Midi Baby 3. It's a simple MIDI switcher with just 3 switches, and you can assign a bunch of things to each switch, which is pretty cool, like just a press or a long hold, and it will switch different things. So this is pretty cool. You can do a lot of different things with just those 3 little switches, and you can also choose the colors of the LEDs and how you want them to like blink and everything. It's super in depth. And obviously this is the Line 6 HX Stomp, which is the core of this entire setup. So the blocks that I use on the HX Stomp are a gate at the input block, then a compressor, then an overdrive, then the amp plus cab block, then a modulation effect, which is a vibrato that I really like, then a delay and a reverb, and that's all. Super simple, kind of working musician setup, no fancy sounds, just what you need to get the job done, which I really like. There's a link in the description if you want to get this preset with all the assignments and all the different block settings if you're into it. Now, the expression pedal on most of my patches will actually not do the wah-wah or the effect stuff. It will actually, when it's completely up, it will basically turn off the overdrive block. And as I dial it in, you will see the little orange block turn on, and it will dial in more and more gain, which is pretty handy because if you do a lot of different gigs and a lot of different setups, I don't particularly like having gain that is preset. I always like to have flexibility depending on, how hard the band is playing and all that stuff. So it's nice to have that flexibility at your feet and really be able to dial in exactly the amount of gain that you need for each context. Now on the MIDI Baby, this switch, you will see basically will dial in the reverb mix. So this is a pretty low reverb mix right now. It's kind of like the, I guess, standard working musician type of setting. So not too much, but just enough so your sound is not too dry. And then when I press it, you will see, for example, the delay mix goes up, and on the reverb block, everything goes up as well. It basically goes into some kind of almost ambient reverb. I use it a lot for like song endings or like whatever section ending needs a long tail to it. I really like using this, or any kind of like more ambient section, I guess, which I don't do a lot, but I know that a lot of people like that. So you gotta have it in your pedal board as an option. This switch is really cool because it allows me to switch between the stomp box mode. So you'll see here I got the modulation effect, the delay, and then tap tempo tuner. Super important. You always gotta have that. But this switch, basically one press and it goes into preset switching. So now these switches will switch between presets for maybe different songs or different artists, or however you organize your pedal board setup. So that is pretty cool. And then this last switch will basically give me a 20% drive increase on the amp block. Just in case, sometimes you're playing and you need a little bit more of, volume and gain, and just to make your playing just cut through a little bit more through the mix. So it's nice to always have that option on the pedal board for, just to kick it in whenever you need it. I guess the big advantage of that pedal board setup is that it's fully modular. I can just like remove elements if I don't need them. For example, if there's a gig where I don't need all the switching, I don't need to take the MIDI Baby, or I don't need a volume pedal or some expression capabilities, I can just take the HX Stomp in my gig bag and I can do the gig with it. and then I can progressively add elements as I need them. So this is pretty handy, and you can't do that with a fully analog pedal board, because needless to say, I use this to go direct as well. So, and this is what I use most of the time. I mostly go direct nowadays. So this is pretty cool, and whenever there's a gig that needs a lot of flexibility, I can add the MIDI baby to switch and have my presets and, you know, a volume pedal and that expression pedal, just to have a lot more control and be more specific, I guess, with the sounds that I use, which is really important if you have a gig that requires it. But a lot of gigs don't. You just need a super simple setup, and in this case, I will most probably just take the HX Stomp on its own, and it will do the job perfectly, because I'm not adding different sounds from this pedal. It will basically just allow me to get really specific with the sounds and really precise with the way they are dialed in. So yeah, I guess the pedal board frame that I use is the Pedal Train Nano Plus, the Addario cables and the Addario picks, in case you were wondering, strings as well. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed it, that you found it useful, and I'll see you around. Take care. Bye-bye.